Good day, folks. Welcome to Bright Mind Academy, where we bring brilliance to every lesson. This is now us coming back from the previous video that we did under trigonometric functions, and where we drew our sketch and all of that. And now we will also draw a sketch also here. Okay, yes, two exam questions where we learn how to draw and analyze answer questions using the sketch. Okay, so yeah, let's continue where we left off. It says the graph of f of x it is equal to cos x plus 30 in the interval that. Okay, now I want us to analyze this. Can you see now we have a horizontal shift here? Okay, we have a what? A horizontal shift. So it tells you this graph of cos was shifted. Remember, if p is positive, can you see it is positive? Remember, if p is positive, it shifted towards the left. Okay, 30 degrees. So it shifted towards the left by 30 degrees. Okay, and then the amplitude here it is 1. Okay. So if I were to draw the normal graph, of course, it starts at 1, remember, okay, and then it starts at 1 and goes like let me remember. Okay, it starts at 1. The original, okay, let me do this. This is 90, 180, 270, 360. The normal cos graph starts at 1, okay, and cuts at 90, and then that's the turning point at 180, and then cuts at 270, and then continue at 360 like this. So I want us to try to draw that. It's gonna be it's something like and then it's supposed to be turning point at 180 there, which we do not have on our graph. But now, can you see, we said our graph is shifted where? 60 units towards the left. How do I know that? This coordinate here, it is x, it is 0 degrees and 1. This coordinate here, originally it is 90 and 0. But can you see now this point is no longer 90 and 0. It is now rather what? 60 and 0. So can you see it shifted towards the left. This point 90. It was shifted towards the left by 30. So towards the left by 30, we minus 30. So can you see it is now 60 and 0. And then this point is 0 and 1. It shifted towards the left by 30. So instead of 0, we minus 30. It becomes what? Negative 30 and 1. When you shift towards the left or right, we do not affect the value of y. The value of y remains the same. So we agree. So instead of being here, it was shifted towards the left like that. So I want to believe everyone understands that. And then, yeah, each and every point in J. This point here, it was supposed to cut here. Okay, it was initially supposed to cut there and then do that shape, but instead now it cuts at negative 120. So that's basically that, us interpreting. Good. Okay. First one, write down the period of f. The period of f, this is the cos graph. The period it is 360. Are we having the value of k here? Yes, we are having, even if I can have it in this format. What is it in front of the bracket or in front of just not this x inside, guys? Remember, we normally say cos kx, ne? So this is the value of k, the period effect. Even if I were to say like this, what I'm interested in it is what is in front of k, the bracket. Even if I were to have 2x plus 30, I do not check what x is in front of x. I check in front of the bracket because the formula says it is y is equal to a cos k, then whatever that happens plus q. So in front of the bracket. But if it is in this format, a cos kx, I still look at k here, even though here it is close to x. But in this case, I'm going to look at the bracket. I hope it makes sense. So I'm going to look in front of the bracket. I can see it is 1 here. So it means now my period it is just 360 divided by 1. So it's just 360, right? So the period of f it is just 360 degrees. They now say write down the range of f of x plus 60 plus 1. Okay. Remember I said when you shift the what? when you shift your graph in the horizontal, whether towards the left or right, it does not affect the value of y. So, and if it does not affect the value of y, it will not affect what? The range. Okay. So now let's take it step by step. What is f of x? So we get by doing this, what is f of x? We're going to say h of x is equal to, let's substitute f of x. So it tells me on the graph of f of x, where I see x, I need to add 6. So I know the sine graph that I'm having there, rather the cos, it is cos x plus 30 degrees. I get what I originally have. They are telling me when I see x, I should add 60. So I'll just say plus 60 degrees. And then they tell me just add 1 outside of the bracket, add 1. Then I'm having the graph of cos x plus 90 plus 1. And if you are aware, this graph here, it is, remember the reduction says the cofunction is 90 plus x. It is negative sine x. Okay, you remember those? Okay. So it is becoming negative sine x plus 1. Okay, negative sine x plus 1. So now let's start first by talking here. What would have been the, okay, let me never mind the negative sign for now. Okay, let's come here. Let's look at this one first. What is the range before we added 1? What was the range of this one? So this is just a cost graph that shifted like 90 units on the other side. So you check the amplitude here. The amplitude is 1. So it means for this graph, the range was y is equal to, remember, if your amplitude it is 1, the range is from -1 to 1. Okay. But now they did what? They added 1. They added 1. So I need to add 1 to every range. -1 plus 1, it is 0. 1 plus 1, it is 2. So this is the range of the graph. This graph here. Okay. So the answer is y is an element from 0 to 2. We always include the range. But now, what if I decided to continue and say, okay, I remember my thing is my grade 11, it says it is negative sine x plus 1. Can you see here? It is negative sine x. What is the period? The period it is -1, yes, but still we want the magnitude. It is 1, right? It tells me that okay, the range here it is y is an element from. Since well the magnitude it is 1 here, irrespective of the sign, whether it's negative or positive, it will just be -1 and 1. And now I need to add 1 and 1. So I'm gonna say y is an element of -1 plus 1, 0, 1 plus 1, 2. So can you see it still gives us the same answer? So I hope I answered that yet without any no confusion. And then, oh, can you see? They say write the equation of h in the simplest form. Another thing that you will have done here, this is just the range of f of x. Since well it shifted, let me write it here. Put it here. Since well this shifted along the horizontal, whether left or right, it does not affect the range, which is the y value. So you'd say for this one, the range, this is just the range of f, which is from -1, can you see, to what? To 1. But now when we add 1 to it, it means I need to move my graph here. Okay? And then this maximum, I need to move it up like that. So can you see now my range and my graph will look something like so there. This is what happens. So my minimum, even without looking at the equation, is fine. It's just the minimum, it is 0, and then the maximum is 2. And then they say write the equation of h in the simplest form. Remember, we ended up having something like this. Here we had cos x plus 90, and then plus 1. So, and I told you that this, when we have sine cos 90 plus something, it is what we refer to as a cofunction. If it is 90 plus something, it changed to sine. But what kind of sign? Is it a positive sign or a negative sign? What I normally tell my student is that put this in whatever value of x. Just say maybe a cos, let's say for x it is 30, and then say plus 90. Can you see that the answer that you get is negative? So it tells you that it's going to change to a negative sign, x, and then plus 1. So this is the simplest form of what? Of the graph of h of x, the off. And then they say draw the graph of h of x on the grid provided thereof. So I'm gonna just use this one since well it is just simple, okay? I'm gonna go to my calculator, okay? I'm gonna just take my calculator and put it to what? To table mode. And then for f of x, I know it is h of x, but for h of f of x on the calculator, you can say it is negative sine x plus 1. I want to believe everyone knows how to do that, right? And then you start from where you check. They say, okay, you can check here. It starts from negative 120 and it ends at 150. So you just say start at negative 120 and ends at 150. The step, what is the step? What is the difference between this one? Can you see from here to here, it is 30. So the step, it is 30. So let me do that for the last time. Let me quickly show you how we do that. So I'm going to say AC equal sign. Okay. Now for f of x, which in this case, it is h of x, it is negative sine x plus 1, right? Equal sign. And then I do not need the other graph. I only want to draw for one graph. There's an equal sign. I started where, remember in this case, I said I started at negative 120, and then I ended where? I ended 150. And then what is my step? The difference between one value to another, it is 30. And then here are my points. Can you see? Here are my points when what, blah, 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 blah. So after doing this on a calculator, I'll just say when x is this, you plot y, blah, blah, blah. So I'll quickly do that also. I have already put my data on my calculator, so hopefully you have done that well enough. So that let's see. I'm getting that for, let me remove this. I think of using another color. When my x is negative 120, I get the value of y as 1,8666. So it's close to 2, but not 2. So I'll put it here. And then when it is negative 90, I get 2. And then when it is negative 60, I get that value again, 1, blah, 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 approximately here. And then when it is negative 30, I get 1,5, negative 30, 1,5, somewhere in the middle. Whew. And then 0, I get 0.1. And then 30.5. Okay, I think I'm lying here. This is one. If this is 1,5 is here. So it's going to be here. I'm sorry for that. And then 30 is just 0,5. And then 60, 0,133. So it's close to here. Okay. So 60 is just close to that. And then 90 is 0. 120 is 0, a positive one. Yes, just a positive 0, blah, 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 like this here. And then 150, that last one, it is. Ooh. Can you see? Now remember this graph that we are drawing for, it is the graph of sine. So it's supposed to have a shape and it is negative. Remember the graph of negative sine, it looks like this. Okay, if I were to draw it, ne? If I were to draw it. But in this case, I want you to realize something. Ne? This is negative 1 and this is 1. And it cuts at 180. Turning point at 90. And then here at 270. This is 360. In this case, they shifted it, no shift. Okay? No shift. Oh, there is a shift. Now it's shifted where upwards. Can you see? By 1. It shifted upwards by 1. So I want you to do a sketch. So this point will move here. This point will move here by 1 unit. This point will move here. This point will move upwards. This point will move here. So when I join, I have something like some sort. Can you see? But now, since all my graph ends at 150, so I'm expecting something of this graph here on that region, okay? Just try to join all the points, basically what I'm trying to say. So you'll just say, here are my points I'm joining. This is what I get. And then this one, can you see it's a shape that's set like that? And then, yeah, I've tried my level best. Okay, yeah. So that's that. Easy, right? Yes. So I think we might, okay, remember this is H, the graph of H. Now, we might be in a position of answering the questions. And can you see now the range? Remember we said the range, it is from 0 to 2. Can you see the minimum value is how much? It is 0 here. The maximum value is how much? It is 2. So can you see it confirms our answer here for the range of H of X? Yes. So let me quickly remove those. And then the questions that I like, it says, use the graph. Okay, use the graph. Don't try to become a mathematician. Use a graph to answer the following question in the interval this one. For which values of x is 6.1.5, f having a minimum value? So where on the graph of f we have a minimum value? So we want the value of x where we have a minimum. When I look at the graph of f, here's the graph of f, right? So I'm having a minimum where? I'm having a minimum value at -1 there. So what's the corresponding x value? The question is, what is the corresponding x value? So can you see? When x it is equal to 150, f it is y is equal to -1, which is my minimum for the graph of f. So it's going to be x it is equal to 150. This was a fairly straightforward question. Where is h of x multiplied by f of x less than 0? So remember, I always do this. So less than 0 tells me that I need my answer. Less than 0, it is negative. So it should be negative again. So what I can I multiply so that I get a negative? When I say this is positive and this is negative, it will give me a negative. Also, I should consider when h is negative and this one is positive. So I will start with this one. Don't do only one, okay? Remember in the previous video, we did negative and negative and positive and positive. Also here, I need to consider when h is positive and f is negative, and again when h is negative and f is positive. So I need to consider both those parts. So let's look at the first one first. When h is positive and that one is negative. So remember what I like to do? I like to say, okay, here, this one is positive, positive, positive. Just do them for all those positive like that. Here it's negative, it's below. And then also for the graph of h, it's positive here, positive here, positive here, positive there. Still positive. Actually, it's positive everywhere. We agree. It's positive everywhere. So it means when I go to my answer, my options, there is no way where h of x is going to be negative. Do you agree? These are all the positives, guys. These are all the positives. These are all the positives. So can you see there's no way our graph of h is negative. So it means I will never look at this part. Why? Because my h of x will never be negative. So I might remove this. I only work with the where it is positive and negative. And I want to check where they occur simultaneously. Okay, where h is positive and f is negative at the same time. So in this region, I look where f h is positive, it's on this part. Where is, okay, let me repeat that. It's positive everywhere on my graph here. And where is f? Again, we want where h is negative. We have, I highlighted that. Where is f negative? F is negative here. So where is it occurring at the same time? It's occurring at the same time from 60 to what? To 150. So can you see from 50 to 160, the signs are not the same, positive and negative. So that's the solution I want. From what? From 62 to 150. I'm going to say x is an element of, remember they use this one. So I'm going to say from, from 60 degrees to 150 degrees. How beautiful. How beautiful is that? And then where is f of x equal to h of x? This is where the point of contact. Point of contact. Where are they intersecting? Where are they touching each other? Where are they touching each other? Sorry, my graph. Hey, oh, God. I almost removed my graph of the graph of h. Okay. Where are they equal? You need to find that. Using your graph, don't try to solve them and do general solution. Hey, guy, people, you are mathematicians. Where are they equal? Can you see that here? They're equal here. When x it is equal to 30. they're equal. What you can confirm with is, remember we have the graph of h of x, which it is equal to negative sine x plus 1. You can confirm that indeed at this point, when x is state, they are equal by saying, okay, on my graph of f, this one, let me put x as state and see if indeed here they are equal now. Okay, and say I'm gonna have cos x, let me put 30 plus 8. It gives me half. So for this one, when I put 30 here, it gives me half. Let's see if I put 30 also here, it will give me half now. If it gives me the same value, it means now they are equal there. Okay, I'm gonna say negative sign, then x it is 30 plus 1. It's half. I also get half. So it means this is the point of contact. So the point of contact, it is x when it is equal to 30, and it is the only one that I can see. X it is equal, so just equal to 80 degrees. Remember, don't forget to put the degrees, guys. So guys, that's all. Like, guys, this topic is very easy. Like, guys, it's just the easy 12 marks. Like, let me see, 5, 11, 12, like easy 12 marks, guys. Please attain them. Let's meet again on the next video. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed.